Hello, fellow explorers of the unknown. Welcome back to Atlas Anomalies, the channel where we delve into the mysterious and unearth the eerie. Today, we're taking you on a spine-chilling journey to the top 5 most terrifying haunted locations across the globe, and we're going to uncover their chilling tales. So grab your flashlight and brace yourselves, because things are about to get seriously spooky. Number 5. Bhangarh Fort, India. To start our journey, we arrive at Bhangarh Fort, a desolate ruin in India that carries a reputation as the most haunted place in the country. Located in the state of Rajasthan, Bhangarh Fort is shrouded in eerie legends and tales of curses. Built in the 17th century by Raja Madho Singh, Bhangarh Fort was meant to serve as a magnificent palace complex. The architecture showcases a blend of Hindu and Mughal styles, and the location of the fort is nestled at the base of the Aravalli Hills. However, the most prominent legend surrounding Bhangarh Fort is that of a curse placed on the area by a holy man named Baba Balanath. According to the tale, the holy man permitted the construction of the fort under the condition that the fort's shadow would not fall on his abode. However, a subsequent ruler ignored this condition, which then led to a supposed curse being placed on the fort by the man, followed by the warning that any structures built within its walls would crumble. Which eventually happened. The fort and the surrounding area was utterly destroyed. Locals and visitors alike claim to have experienced strange occurrences and paranormal phenomena within the vicinity of Bhangarh Fort. Reports include sightings of apparitions, mysterious sounds, and an overwhelming feeling of dread. People often avoid staying in the area after sunset due to the unsettling aura that envelops the site. Even the Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, has imposed strict entry restrictions on Bhangarh Fort after dark. Entry to the fort is prohibited between sunset and sunrise, adding to the aura of mystery and danger. The area around Bhangarh Fort is dotted with abandoned homes and structures, which are believed to be the result of the curse. Many locals maintain that the curse remains in effect, preventing any permanent habitation in the vicinity. But despite its reputation as a haunted place, Bhangarh Fort has become a popular destination for tourists and paranormal enthusiasts. The allure of the legends and the spine-tingling experiences draw curious visitors who are eager to explore the site's mysterious history. Number 4. Château de Brissac, France. We travel to the opulent Château de Brissac in France. While it may seem like a fairy tale castle at first glance, this majestic estate holds a chilling secret. Despite Château de Brissac being often referred to as the tallest castle in France, boasting an impressive 6 stories, its chilling history remains the main feature. The castle's dark history is centered around the legend of the Green Lady. According to the story, Charlotte of France, the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII, resided in Château de Brissac. She was married to Jacques de Brézé, a nobleman, but was murdered under mysterious circumstances. It's believed that Charlotte's murder was a result of a love affair gone awry. She allegedly had a secret lover who was discovered by her husband, Jacques. Enraged by this betrayal, Jacques killed Charlotte in a fit of jealousy. Her ghost is said to roam the castle's halls, dressed in a green dress, forever seeking justice for her untimely death. Over the years, visitors and residents of Château de Brissac have reported sightings of the Green Lady. Witnesses claim to have seen her spectral figure wandering the corridors and hallways, often accompanied by a cold breeze or an unexplainable drop in temperature. The castle's eerie atmosphere has only amplified the tales of her haunting. Today, Château de Brissac is open to the public and serves as both a historic site and a bed and breakfast. Visitors can explore the lavish interiors, admire the stunning architecture, and even spend the night within the castle's walls. However, those brave enough to stay overnight might find themselves in the presence of the lingering spirit of the Green Lady. Number 3. Aokigahara Forest, Japan. Our journey now takes us to the chilling Aokigahara Forest, also known as Japan's Suicide Forest. Located at the base of Mount Fuji, this dense woodland has an unsettling reputation for being a site of numerous suicides. Aokigahara gained international attention for its alarming suicide rates. Starting in the 1950s, the forest began to be associated with a high number of suicides. The reasons for this association are complex and multifaceted, but the forest's remote location, dense foliage, and sense of isolation have contributed to its use as a location for people seeking to end their lives. Recognizing the distressing trend, local authorities, volunteers and organizations have taken steps to address the issue. Signage encouraging visitors to think of their families and seek help is posted throughout the forest. Volunteers conduct regular patrols, reaching out to those they encounter and providing information about suicide prevention resources. The forest's tragic history has imbued it with an eerie and melancholic atmosphere. Visitors often report an overwhelming feeling of sadness and despair, even if they are not aware of the forest's reputation. And visitors often recount strange sounds, unsettling shadows, and an overwhelming feeling of dread. Some believe that the souls of the lost linger here, creating an aura of sadness and despair that's palpable to those who dare to venture in. Aokigahara Forest's dark reputation has led to the creation of various supernatural myths. Some locals believe that the forest is inhabited by malevolent spirits, adding to the sense of unease. The forest has also been featured in Japanese horror films and urban legends, further fueling its reputation as a place of dread. Aokigahara's tragic history has inspired various forms of artistic expression, including literature, films, documentaries, and even music. These works often explore themes of life, death, and human suffering, attempting to shed light on the complexities of mental health and societal pressures. Number 2. Eastern State Penitentiary, USA. Our next haunted hotspot is none other than Eastern State Penitentiary, nestled in the heart of Philadelphia, USA. This former prison is renowned for its revolutionary approach to incarceration and its subsequent descent into a place of despair. Eastern State Penitentiary was designed in the early 19th century with a revolutionary concept in mind: solitary confinement. The idea behind this system was to encourage reflection, penance, and rehabilitation by isolating prisoners from one another and the outside world. While the concept of solitary confinement was intended to promote moral and spiritual growth, it often had devastating effects on the prisoner's mental health. Extended periods of isolation led to severe psychological distress, with many inmates suffering from depression, hallucinations, and even insanity. As the years went on, reports of cruel treatment and inhumane conditions emerged from within the prison's walls. Inmates were subject to physical punishment and often kept in darkness for days at a time. The prison's rigid isolation system led to numerous mental breakdowns and suicides. As the prison's methods were criticized and modern correctional practices emerged, Eastern State Penitentiary fell into disrepair. The prison closed its doors in 1971 after nearly 150 years of operation. The abandoned complex became a haunting shell, with crumbling walls, deteriorating cells, and a sense of desolation that matched its grim history. Regarding its paranormal history, one of the most infamous paranormal stories associated with Eastern State Penitentiary is that of the Shadow Man. Many visitors and staff members have reported seeing a shadowy figure moving along the cell blocks. The entity is described as tall and ominous, evoking a sense of fear and unease. Today, Eastern State Penitentiary stands as a hauntingly atmospheric museum, giving visitors a glimpse into the prison's past. The preserved cells, crumbling architecture, and tales of suffering and despair that permeate its walls have made it a magnet for paranormal enthusiasts, historians, and those seeking to understand the complexities of human nature in the face of adversity. Number 1. Poveglia Island, Italy. And finally, but certainly not least, we arrive at Poveglia Island, located in the picturesque waters of Italy's Venice Lagoon. This small island holds a reputation for being one of the most haunted places in the world. Its history is riddled with tales of death, disease, and suffering. For starters, during the medieval period, Poveglia Island was used as a quarantine station for ships arriving in Venice that were suspected of carrying plague-infected passengers. The island served as a dumping ground for the sick and the dead, who were often abandoned in mass graves. It's estimated that thousands of victims succumbed to various plague outbreaks on the island. Later, in the 20th century, the island took on an even darker role when it became home to a mental hospital. The hospital was known for conducting experimental and often brutal treatments on its patients, who were subjected to cruel practices such as lobotomies and other unproven procedures. Over the years, numerous stories have emerged about the paranormal activity on Poveglia Island. Visitors and locals have reported seeing ghostly figures, hearing disembodied voices, and experiencing unexplained cold spots. Some have even claimed to witness apparitions of plague victims and mentally ill patients, suggesting that the tormented souls of the past continue to haunt the island. It's said that the soil of Poveglia Island is tainted with human remains from centuries of plague-related deaths and the mental hospital's activities. This belief has led to the idea that the island itself is cursed, with the energy of all the suffering and death has seeped into the land. Currently, Poveglia Island has been largely abandoned for decades. It is now privately owned and generally off-limits to the public. Despite this, the island's eerie reputation continues to draw in thrill-seekers, paranormal enthusiasts, and those curious about its grim history. Numerous attempts to develop the island for tourism have been met with opposition due to the deep-rooted belief in its haunting. And there you have it, intrepid viewers. The top 5 most terrifying haunted locations with bone-chilling stories that'll send shivers down your spine. Whether you're drawn to the dark history, the paranormal intrigue, or simply the thrill of the unknown, these places are bound to leave an indelible mark on your imagination. If you've got the courage to venture into the world of the unexplained, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because Atlas Anomalies will be your guide to all things eerie and extraordinary. And tell us in the comments down below what you'd like to know more about. Until next time, remember to keep your flashlight handy and your wits about you. Happy exploring, brave souls.